So we're working on logarithms. We had a good intro day to them, and this was the cooldown, the exit ticket from that. So if you're able to do these problems, you're in a good spot on your logarithm understanding so far. So what we're looking at is what does it mean to have a logarithm? And we're starting out with just base 10. Base 10 is a really nice number. So if we do log base 10 of 10, the answer has to be 1. And the reason is always referring back to exponential equations. Log equations are just rearranged exponential equations. So because I know that 10 to the first is equal to 10, if I rearrange that equation, I know that log base 10 of 10 is equal to 1. What I'm doing to rearrange an exponential and a logarithm is I'm taking the power and putting it on the other side, and I'm taking the answer and putting it up above with the word log. What I mean by that is if I have log base A of B equals something, let's say y, then that's the same thing. Some people will draw a two-sided arrow like this. That's the same thing as if I keep the A on the bottom, but I switch the Y and the B. Those are the same thing. So that's the idea with logarithms, is that they rearrange who is playing on top and who is on the other side of the equation. The part that stays in the same spot is the base. The base stays on the bottom. So if I look at problem B, 10 log base 10 of 10,000 is 4. The reason is 10 to the fourth equals 10,000. Now, powers of 10 are nice because you just have to count how many zeros there are. Okay, and so that's a nice, easy way to know it's 4 because there's 4 zeros going on, and that means I did 4 powers of 10. Now, this last one's saying log base 10 of what is equal to 7. Well, I know it's going to be the number 1 with 7 zeros after it. And the reason I know that's true is because 10 to the 7th power equals a 1 with 7 zeros after it. So how would I explain to a friend who doesn't know about logarithms what the equation says? The equation says 10 to the y power equals x. Another way that might help you is to think of a logarithm as asking you a question. The logarithm asks, what power of 10 is x? And you can see how that question is the same as the statement I wrote there. What power of 10 is x? Okay, so that's the first part of the cool down. Let's see what was on the second part. So in the second part, we're focusing just on the rewriting. And so if I'm rewriting, I'm just keeping the base on the bottom and I'm swapping the other two numbers. So 16 and 4 switch sides of the equals. 2 stays on the bottom. Okay. Same idea for number 2. 5 is the base of my exponential form. So I switch -2 and 1/25th. Log base 5 of 1/25th is -2. To explain, I can always just switch and get back to exponential form, which is just a lot more familiar to most of us. 2 to the 0 equals 1, because 1 is the number that has 0 effect when you multiply by it. Or alternatively, 2 to the 0 equals 1, because if I did 2 to the 1 divided by 2 to the 1, I would get 2 to the 0, but I would also get 1 because I divided something by itself. There's several other ways you can get to that idea that it has to be 2 to the 0 equals 1. So that was the cool down. If you got how to do those, you're in a good spot for starting out logarithms. So please let me know if anything was confusing or if I made a mistake. Always possible I made a mistake.